It's not working. This is so frustrating. No, we cannot hear you. No audio. No, I know you're not on mute. I understand. It is clearly something to do with the Discord settings. You should be able to go into your voice and check the Discord. Are you connected to a Bluetooth speaker anywhere? Perhaps turn your Bluetooth off.
So that's it. You can see him. He's muting, unmuting.
Yeah, he's trying. He's doing his best. All right. In the meantime, we will go to Gideon of the Red Wave.
I'm a pirate, like 28 years old. I'm not a transvestite. It was an inside joke. I was in a pirate crew called the Red Wave. Unfortunately, I was captured and I was sent to prison. And I was released from prison with the understanding that I would complete a task. I'm not going to tell anybody what that task is unless it comes up. I'm actually in this land just, I guess, going about doing things, trying to make that happen.
Okay. All right. So secret. So do people know about at least that there is a plan, Gideon, or do they have no idea even of that?
Nah, it's nobody. They just know me. I'm Gideon. I have a funny accent, and I really like the ocean.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he just kind of grimy. He just kind of showed up.
Okay. All right. So, basically, the way I would assume this then is that Gundren Rockseeker. How exactly do you guys know him? So he was the gentleman that asked you to take this group of provisions over to Phandelver and meet Sildar Hallwinter there, and he took off ahead of you guys. Who of you, or how do you guys know Gundren?
Question is, does he know who I am?
That's a good question, actually. For all you know, he does.
I just went to a local guild to pick up some work.
Okay. So this is purely
and they referred me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So you guys are heading down this trail. Who's driving the wagon?
Rick.
I'll drive the boat.
Richter driving the wagon. All right. So anybody else riding on the wagon? Who standing off to the side? This is really where you're going to be able to set this scene, sort of.
I'll be walking off to the side.
Walking off to the side, okay.
Need to.
Okay.
I look kind of shifty. I keep looking behind us.
You keep looking behind you. Okay, so you're on the Triboar Trail, so yeah, that would make total sense. That you're not exactly comfortable with it. I mean, you especially Richter have sort of an unease in these areas. You're getting just you're getting a feeling that something's not quite right. But so far you haven't mentioned anything off. So we've got Pino walking off to the side. Gideon, where are you?
I'm trailing the wagon, but not far.
Okay, trailing the wagon. Dab, are you taking a free ride?
I'm walking behind the wagon.
Okay, you in front or behind Gideon?
Actually, in front.
You're in front of Gideon. All right, so Gideon.
Yeah, because I'm small.
Okay, and once we get
running
Rab
behind the wagon.
Yeah. Once we get Rab back, we'll figure out what he's doing.
Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Oh
Yes.
yes, we can.
Rab, tell us your
story, Rab.
Yeah.
So, Rob is he's a Furbolg monk, Rob Broccoli. Lived in the forest with his family growing up. With his grandfather, all his nieces and nephews and all that shit, parents. His grandfather died, and his whole family somehow mysteriously got ill and ended up dying. So he went out on his own, set out on his own, crossed a mountain, some rivers and such, found a monastery with this dwarf who encamped and seemed very unsteady on his feet, but looks are deceiving, and he kicked the shit out of Rob many times, and they trained together, and Rob spent about a year there, and
Alrighty. Okay, good. That's an excellent one. So, Rob's family caught Corona and then decided to all just kick the bucket. Got it. All right. So, Rob, where would Rob be standing relative to this cart right now?
If he's not driving it, he'd be at the back.
All right. He'd be at the back. There's like 3 people trailing this right now. Then there's only one.
Well,
dude.
I'm off to the side.
Yeah. You're off to the side.
If that's an issue, I'll ride the wagon. I don't care.
Oh no, I know. You guys can be wherever you want. I'm just saying there's currently 3 people walking in a line behind the cart, and nobody's taking advantage of taking the ride. So
I figured that small little gnome would have, but
Yeah, I'll jump on the cart. My legs are getting tired. I'm running too.
I was about to say,
at
I
the back
figured
of
Dad
the
would be
wagon
hopped on the
riding
back.
I figured he'd be back there smoking his pipe.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
definitely smoking the pipe. I was trying to do that while I was walking, but I was running out of breath.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of like real life.
I'm driving it kind of just. I want to ask the ox if they sense what I sense.
You have speak with animals as a cantrip, correct?
I have speak with animals as.
Should be an
Is
ability.
that a cantrip?
It's actually a spell.
You want to do a spell slot to talk with the ox?
Yeah, I want to.
Remember that you don't have many early game.
Yeah, I think you have 3.
They're limited. So
Like,
if we get in a
think I have
battle,
thing.
Can I see him start to try to cast a spell and tell him that it's probably pretty useless?
You absolutely can. You can see him. So you take a look at Richter, who is relatively new to his abilities. He's learning out all of his capabilities and so on. You're pretty well versed, especially in seeing spell casting. You notice that Richter's starting to put together the necessary pieces to do the spell. It does take some materials, and starts just actually work through the motions. And you notice that he's doing this, and you comment to him and sort of warn him. Richter, what do you do?
Yeah, so I say, those ox are pretty stupid. They're probably just following the orders. They ain't gonna give you much but a half a conversation.
what do you think, Rick?
Oh, I'm definitely not going to use it. I didn't know I could only. It was limited.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so as you guys are walking, riding along this trail, I'm actually going to bring you into it now. So as you guys are riding along this trail, you should have seen everything switch. You come up across. You've been on the Tribord Trail for about a half a day. As you come around a bend, you spot 2 dead horses sprawled out 50 feet ahead of you, about 50 feet in front of you, blocking the path. Each has several black-feathered arrows sticking out of it. The woods press close to the trail here, with steep embankment and dense thickets on either side, which is not exactly illustrated in this picture.
Can I investigate around to see if there's any tracks, see what I can see in the immediate area, not necessarily what's on the cart, but around?
Yes, absolutely. So go ahead and make a perception check. Oh,
Natural 20.
So you notice as you get a little bit closer, and guys, feel free to move around your characters now. So Richter's actually come off the. It looks like Richter's come off the cart and pulled behind Pino. Pino, you sort of prick your ears up and you look around for a moment. You notice some tracks leading in just away from the horse into bushes on either side of that horse.
So I'm going to look behind me and tell everybody in my immediate area that this is probably a setup. I see tracks leading in the bushes, no tracks leaving the bushes. It's probably a setup.
Do we know what kind of tracks they
are? You are able to point them out, Pino, so anybody, you can sort of pick your the person with the higher survival modifier, and they can run a check that way. A survival check.
I'm +5.
I have a +5 survival.
So you two, either one of you can actually decide to make it for sure.
Roll. You roll. All right. It's already set up. Ooh.
Ooh. Richter, you turn with a, or sorry, was that you?
That was
Pino.
That was Pino. Pino, you turn to the group, and with the exact same confidence that you had that something was going into those bushes, you turn to them and you turn around and go, guys, it was a bald eagle.
And I'm gonna say I think
Fucking eagle, boys. We're fine.
I'm gonna say I think you're just as crazy as Richter is. Pretty
Go
sure that
stick your
wasn't a
fucking
ball.
hand in it.
Pretty sure that wasn't a ball.
Can I roll after him for survival?
You certainly can.
I'm gonna say I'm not sure about that. I know a bunch of animals. I don't think there's bald eagles in this area. I'm gonna roll the same.
Okay.
Bald eagle tracks.
Bald eagle tracks. Yeah, that's
I
what.
just roll a
And
D20.
Richter,
That's
and this
it,
is the
right?
thing. Richter said it to you with such confidence. He actually
1d20
argued.
plus.
Can you guys hear me right now?
Yeah, we
It's
can.
a bald eagle.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a fucking eagle.
Yeah, he is absolutely assured in his convictions. He is 100% sure that is a bald eagle track. And Lex, you take a look. You actually haven't seen bald eagle tracks, and you don't recognize these tracks either. So for all you know, he could be right. I mean, you know, he's.
Told
Can
you,
you guys
it's a
hear me?
fucking bald eagle.
Yes, we can,
Yes.
Rob. Oh, he can't hear us. We can hear you. I don't know. I'm literally sitting here shaking my head, even though I'm not on camera.
He's not.
So
Guy,
these
Discord and him are
meatheads
having
think
fight.
there's a bald eagle.
Yeah, so you have two people now that are very well trained in survival that are both fairly adamant. One extremely adamant, one, relatively sure that those are bald eagle tracks that are going into those bushes.
Can I check these tracks out from? I know my survival's not that high, but I can still roll with mine.
Yeah, absolutely. You can. So you jump out in front and you can take a quick look.
I was just looking around with the confidence I had. I want to move a little closer, not being too worried.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thinking
There we go.
Okay, so you take a look down at these tracks, Dab, and you
Tell everybody they're fucking retarded.
No, you. So I'm going to point out something that happens when you have multiple failed attempts at getting something like this. Your
Makes it
DC
hard.
goes up and up and up and up. And considering your actual history is not huge into survival and staying in the woods, you definitely don't think they're eagle tracks. You really don't. And you can fight to that. However, you cannot name at all what they are. You have no idea what they are. You're pretty sure they're not eagle tracks?
I'm pretty confident. No, I'm pretty sure.
All right, I'm gonna settle this. I'm gonna use a cantrip. I'm gonna pick up 3 stones and cast magic stone on them, and I'm gonna throw them into the bushes. Get this fucking eagle to fly out. I'm gonna show you it's a fucking eagle.
Okay. So you actually pull 3 stones. You pick them up off the ground. You sort of wave your hand in the air. Give me a second here. I'm actually going to turn on my camera because hopefully this makes things a bit better. Oh, no, apparently not. Oh, that makes things not better. You guys still there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we still hear you.
Oh,
I've been here.
I lost the chat.
I'm gonna have to get a mini fridge beside me.
Lex just
He gone.
poured. Wants everybody to see that drink.
Got that fancy fucking circle cube in there. I have them too. As fancy as they are, I make mine in a fucking whale.
In a
Make it in a
whale.
whale?
Yeah, it's a little fucking whale that makes ball ice cubes.
Sorry about that. Sorry. So you pick the stones up in your hand. You sort of spin your hand around. Those stones start to float, and you rocket them off into this wooded area. You just see them fly directly through the actual bush and just sail straight through. Nothing comes out. You don't hear anything. So who's at the front here? I need Richter, Dab, and Pino to all make perception checks.
That's D20 plus deck.
Yep. No, D20 plus wisdom. It all depends on what
Wisdom.
your perception is.
So
It
mine would
should
be
say I think yours would be wisdom. So Dab, for you, it should say right on your sheet actually. So if you all filled out the same sheet, it will say it right down below. For
Perception is a wisdom ability, so you should
Yeah,
look on
yeah.
the lines right beside wisdom.
correct.
The wisdom modifier.
Yeah, it's
My
a wisdom
perception
modifier.
is +5, but my wisdom is +3.
So your
Yeah, that
that's your
makes sense, 'cause-
passive. Your
Go ahead, I'm
passive.
sorry.
Yeah, you might actually have a modifier that actually gives you better perception too.
Yeah, but he's proficient. That's
Yeah.
why you get your proficiency bonus if you're proficient in it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. 2 + 3 is 5.
My proficiencies are Arcania and Hit.
Yeah, so you would be whatever your wisdom modifier is, Jeff. It actually says it in your skills tree. So if you look at your actual, if you look at your character sheet, it says it right in that skills tree under skills, which is just to the left or just
Yeah,
to the right
I
of
see.
your,
So the perception one or wisdom?
Yeah. the perception.
Okay, it's plus.
Yeah, I have passive wisdom perception.
So I'm rolling 1d20 plus.
Yep. And Richter, you would roll your 1d20 plus 5, and Farmer looks like you
I rolled 17.
17, 11.
Donnie, change your
Okay.
name in the roll 20 in the settings. It'll show up as your name.
I
Yeah,
keep
so if you-
forgetting.
Yeah, if you go to the settings. Oh, and 24. So, Dab, you don't hear anything. You don't necessarily notice anything. Pino, however, standing out at the front, does hear rustling in those bushes. So he hears something happened. Oh my god, he hears something happen, but he doesn't necessarily see anything. So your stones had an effect for sure.
So, when my stone went through, did it look like it went through like an illusion, or did it look like it hit something? It like hit some
Based on
leaves.
based on everything you've seen, it literally just passed through the bush. So I mean that bush is relatively leafy. You rocketed 3 stones through it. It just sort of went through as if nothing was in front of it.
So I'm gonna turn back. Sorry, it's not a fucking eagle. I don't know what it is, but it's not a fucking eagle. They'd be fucking scared. I know eagles.
Illegal.
We're aware something is in there, though, right?
Something is there. We fucking heard something.
There's something there.
This
Am,
is
am I
fucking
able
fishy.
to cast something on it if that says I have to see it?
Sorry?
Am I able to cast a spell on it that the spell says I have to be able to see the creature?
I think most of
Nah.
your spells that you're gonna have require you to be able to see it.
Okay.
Nah, not all spells, but I understand what he's saying. He's like, if he can't see it, can he cast it on it?
Like,
If the
I
spell
know
says
it's
you
there, but I can't see it. Can I cast it?
If the spell says you have to see it, you got to be able to see it.
Yeah,
What are
'cause
you trying to
don't know
cast?
what's there.
What are you trying to cast? That'll help me narrow it down.
Hideous laughter.
No, I remember you read that last night. You got to see the hole. You had to be in the door to see the. Or no, you seen him through the hole.
Yeah, a creature of your choice that you can see within range. So no.
Somebody want to light that bush up or say a bonfire?
So just as you say that, Pino, what is your? So one thing I would like you guys to do is if you click on your character, you'll see a red, a green, and a blue box, and you can actually fill out the green box with your HP and the blue with your AC, which is your armor. That really helps me to understand when I'm making rolls on my own.
You got to click
What-
the set.
You don't necessarily have to. You can just click on your your token.
Just click on your character. The top of it has the green circles. Click on the circle. Put in the number. Press enter.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then as you get hit, you can actually press -5 and then press enter, and it'll do the math for you. So just a little
Which
quick tip.
color is health? Red?
Green was HP, right?
Green is HP, blue is AC, and then the red is for whatever you like. So, anyways,
I don't know.
Can I
Donnie?
just tell you mine?
yeah, you can go for it.
I'm wearing chainmail, so my AC is I think 16. I don't add anything to it, right?
No, you don't add anything to unless you're wearing a chain or unless you're wearing a shield of some sort. And your HP,
Nah.
Gideon?
My HP is 17.
Okay. Dab's got his, Pino's got his, Victor's got his, and Rob has his. Awesome. And great other number, Rob. So, Pino, you're directly out front. So you all of a sudden feel a sting in the front part of your chest. You can't understand why it hurts so much right now, but it does. And you look down and you see a black feathered arrow actually just sort of sticking out of your chest right now. It's not necessarily dug in. It's rather painless. You take 2 points of damage. You're starting to come to the realization, and Dab and Richter, you didn't see this. It was as Pino was moving forward to try and sort of see more and more, and as he was talking, he felt this prick into his chest, and then he just looked down, and there's now an arrow sitting out of his chest.
So can I turn around like Jim Carrey in fucking Ace Ventura? And just,
Yes,
something doesn't feel right, guys.
Too dirty, too much.
So you've now notified me, and I'm gonna move behind the.
Okay, so as you run to the cart, I need everybody to roll for initiative. So Jeff, you get about halfway to the cart. So you get right about here, and I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Do I get to move my character? No, right?
At this point, no. So you are stuck basically where you're at.
Do I get a modifier?
What do you mean a modifier?
Like,
On
do
your
I just
sheet.
roll 1d20 for initiative?
Yeah, it should be on your sheet.
It's your dex mod.
It's right by
Yeah,
our.
it's usually your dex mod.
So I have plus
Whatever
2
your dex-
dexterity, so I roll a d20 plus 2.
Yeah, and guys, if you can do me a favor, click on your character before you roll for. Oh, actually, never mind. You're not rolling initiative.
Plus your dex. I think
All right,
plus two.
so
Yo, my dex mod is
Fucking go! Let's go!
Oh yeah, that's right, because we're rolling for you, aren't we?
yeah, but that's fine.
my dex mod is +2.
I have an idea.
You want to roll for him, Jared, or you want somebody else?
Go with somebody else roll for him. I've never loved rolling for somebody else.
All right, I'll roll
Feels
for him. It's
Feels
+2.
disingenuous.
So in initiative, the first roll I make will always be mine, and the second roll will always be his. Okay.
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 Fair enough. 10.
It's better than mine. Not by much.
All right. So what do we have here? So we've got Pino. You rolled
An 8.
an 8. I'm gonna add you to the turn list. Can you guys see the turn list?
Yes.
Excellent.
I
Gonna
can't
add
see
every-
it.
Should have popped up on your screen.
I see it, but it's only a corner of it.
Now I.
So, it's up in the top corner here. Pino, you rolled a
I rolled a
8. Dab.
Again.
Ooh. Richter.
17.
You know, technically it's 10. You rolled a 10. Because it's 8 plus your wisdom, your dex mod.
He already put his dex mod in there.
Yeah, that was 6 plus 2.
Oh shit, my fault.
Rob. Rob still having connection issues?
Rob, you hear us?
I don't think so. Okay.
He said he had 4.
He said he had 4. Got it.
Yeah, Rob.
Gideon
Rob has a 19
Hold
actually.
on.
Oh, Robert
Fuck's sake.
19.
and Gideon.
Yeah, he got 10. Yeah.
All right, so let's sort them in order and see how she goes. One of them is actually, so another one's going to go first. So he's going to attack the first guy he sees. Oh, geez, I need to move that in a place where I don't need it. Sorry, bear with me here, guys. I'm dealing with. All right. You know what? I'm just going to shrink it. There we go. So, this guy is gonna roll.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yep. Bear with me here for a second.
I'll try to take notes, Jared, too. And if I need to go over something, maybe after I can ask you a couple questions.
How do I
So
find the-
you are Pino. You see another arrow comes flying, or you feel another pain in your chest, right directly beside the one that was there before. And you look down, and there is now a second actual arrow sticking out of your chest. Holy shit! You take 7 points of piercing damage
Oh,
on
smoke.
top of that.
How'd that
You
happen?
you are in rough shape. So you just got hit for a second time with an arrow, and you are in rough shape. Rob, it is your turn. You can
Can you
move your
hear-
character and make
can
your
you hear-
rolls. Go ahead.
You can hear me? Cool. Okay. So which direction were the arrows coming?
So the directions they were coming from this area right here. So you guys, you have a general area of what bushes you were looking at, and you can, by assumption, assume that that's where they came from because that was the bush that you were looking for, and you know that currently now Pino has as far as all of you know, he has at least one arrow in his chest. Keep in mind, around last 6 seconds, so you have not yet sort of registered that he has a second arrow in his chest.
Which?
Lost you.
There, top right of the screen,
So right here.
right in front of me. Like, is this?
I'm not sure what he's asking.
That's you. I don't think you're. You might need to look straight at your mic for it to register. Because you keep cutting out.
Do you have a headset, Nostra? Like headphones?
Like any headphones that have like a mic on them?
I
Yeah.
do not. I'm staying at my dad's. Like, I have minimal shit.
Guys, we gotta
No.
When
we gotta group
doing-
together and Amazon ship.
When you're looking at the
Nothing.
camera, it catches, but when you're not looking at
right now.
Yeah, try and just maybe talk a little, if you can talk a little louder. I have a feeling what's happening is Discord's actually trying to pick up your voice and you're too far away.
That's what I'm wondering because when you get closer and look right at it, it's perfect.
So just make sure your face is close to your.
That just made a liar out of me.
Yeah.
Ask him if he should. Ask him to try. Damn.
Oh, he's there.
Audio
Oh,
only.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
I'm like
So
1 foot away.
You're like 1 foot
Yeah.
away. No, you're right up here. You're not even close to the danger, Rob.
I think he meant his mic.
Oh, his mic's 1 foot away. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's something's fucked up. It only cues because we can see when you cue your mic,
Yeah,
and
it's weird.
it's just not cueing
It's
sometimes.
just not queuing it. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear us. Maybe type
Yeah,
in
just
the
type it in the chat.
roll 20.
Roll 20. There we go.
Or call in just voice.
Yeah, just call in voice. That should work.
He's gone. I don't know
Okay,
where
so
he
I'm
is.
gonna jump Rob out for a little bit. Just gonna sort of say he sort of runs and back and cowers. Oh, he said something. I'm gonna need somebody else to follow that.
Am I allowed to discuss with them what to do on my turn?
You really shouldn't, but I mean, you do what you want, man.
Do you think I should cure him or I should try to kill what's in the bush?
What's his HP? Right? What's his max HP?
He's taking 9 damage.
17. I'm down to 8.
Yeah, I would heal him. But make sure you move yourself to a place where you can safely heal him and not be in danger yourself.
Where is Pino? Right up here?
Yeah, guy in the front far right.
He's by the bush.
He should have a. It should have a name tag on him.
I can only see my name tag, Jared.
Interesting. Okay,
I'm
you
gonna
can
move
turn that
up.
around and
I
show
can
that
see
to the players.
everybody's.
I'm gonna move up next to him and I'm going to use cure wounds.
Okay, so you run up to Pino. You put your hand on his shoulder. Now, Richter, you actually notice that he does have 2 arrows now actually sitting out of his chest. You put your hand on his shoulder. Your hand starts to glow this beautiful red. Pino, you take a breath. You roll for your cure wounds. So it is. Man, I am so rusty. For cure wounds, go ahead and roll 1d8 plus your spell modifier.
Your spell modifier is charisma.
Okay, there you go.
So I have +5.
Your charisma's +5?
I think so.
It's probably his highest stat with the 16 with his pluses.
No, my charisma's +3.
Okay, so 1d8 plus 3.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so Rob, I'll let you go after this one. We're just waiting on a roll here.
It says rolling the dice on my screen.
I know. So, there it is. So you go up plus. So Donnie, I got it. Here, you go up +6.
I got it, Jared.
Yeah. Okay. So you're up to 14. Back up to 14 health. That takes care. Any bonus actions, or you want to move anywhere else, Richter? You can technically move back a little bit.
I'm going. Can I jump back behind the wagon?
So another thing I'm going to show you guys, if you take a look at the symbol right underneath the magnifying glass on your left toolbar, you'll see a thing that says snap to center. If you click on that and then click and drag any point to any point, you can actually measure out things. So you get 30 feet of movement in total. You moved about 15 feet to get where you are.
Feet.
What's that?
I get 35 feet.
You get 35 feet. Okay, so you've moved about 15 feet to get where you are. So you have about 20 feet left.
Can 20 feet get me behind right here?
Yep, looks like it can.
Each square is 5, so it should be.
But I mean, again, you can measure. Remember, you can't hoop yourself over a.
What if I have acrobatics?
What's that?
What if I have acrobatics?
You can certainly make a roll for that.
All right, how do I do that?
So you just do your acrobatics. So roll a d20 plus acrobatics.
My acrobatics is +3.
So what are you going for? Are you going to do like a half gainer off of the cart over top of the oxen?
Full backflip.
Full backflip over the oxen. Okay.
Full backflip. Ooh, I rolled a d20 by accident.
No, that's exactly what you need. So we'll take 9 plus, what's it, 3 you said?
Yeah, so 12.
Okay, so you run towards the oxen. The oxen are standing directly in front of you. You bound off the first oxen. You get up in the air. You successfully complete your backflip. However, you hit the second oxen and fall to the ground. Not hurt, no worse for wear. You're just sort of on your ass at the moment, feeling rather embarrassed. You successfully completed just a beautiful backflip, but you didn't really do anything. Rob, you're up.
All
I
right.
will move you back to where you were. I think you were right around here.
So do I see anything or anything right now?
So as of right now, you haven't seen much go on. I know you basically all of a sudden saw everybody spring into action. Dab and Richter and Pino are really the only ones that really have an idea of what's going on and the fact that you're getting attacked. You just know something's happening.
What direction did the arrow come from? Like, did it hit
You
him?
have no idea. You didn't even. So as of right now, Rob, you have no idea that there's even an arrow that's been shot. You just know that remember, you were standing behind the cart when all this happened, and so far it's been rather stealthy. So you at that point in time, you have no idea that anything's happened.
I'll just.
You see me do a backflip. That's it.
You just saw Richter do a backflip and fall off of one of the oxes.
I'll just use my action to take a look around, like a perception or investigation, whatever you want.
Okay, so I'm going to say you use your action to actually complete basically a situational awareness check. You probably point yourself out from behind. You turn to see Pino with two arrows in his chest. One of them he's working on trying to pull out right now, and you just saw Richter try and take a half gainer off of an ox to get away from something. So now you've got the idea. You've definitely got the idea that something has gone wrong. Somebody's shooting at Richter, and based on what you've seen, it's coming from in front of you, right around where the dead horses are.
You said a half gainer off the fucking ox.
So that'll conclude your turn. The next one is coming at so you got 12. Ooh. So, Richter, you all of a sudden see. Bear with me here, actually, because it might be. Okay, so first thing that happens, you actually see an arrow just all of a sudden hit into the wooden cart right next to you. The arrow sailed right past your head. The next one actually hits you directly in the shoulder, so you feel an actual sting in your shoulder. It's slight, but it's painful. And you're not exactly feeling great right now. You take. Holy shit! Oh, not that bad. 4 points of damage. So you take 4
Damn.
points of piercing damage to your shoulder for getting hit right in the shoulder.
So if you
Damn,
type
I'm at 11.
-4 in chat, Lex, I think it takes it away.
No, it's not in chat. So if you click your little green balloon above your name and click on it, type in -4 and press enter, it will do the math for you.
I know I'm at 11. I was at 15. I take 4 damage. I'm at 11, right?
Yep, you're at 11 now. Yep, that's right. So Gideon, you're up.
Got you. I'm gonna move up to the back of the wagon and come around the side of who is that standing to the left of the wagon?
To your left of the wagon is Rob.
All right, so I want to use my movement to come around Rob till I'm on the same line as who's right beside the bush, the one that got shot.
That would be Pino. Do you have 35 feet of movement? Because you got to remember, you're not taking. You could kind of take a straight shot, but you'd have to get through Rob.
I don't need to get all the way to Pino. I just want to be on the same line as him.
Okay, so you want to be you want to use Pino as a human shield.
No, you said that, not me.
Okay, got
I
it.
just wanted to move it to the last so I could see what's going on because I'm out of line of sight.
Where
You are.
Where
So
did I
you-
get shot from? Where'd the arrow?
You move up. You run immediately, and you run around Rob. Keep in mind, you guys, if you're not doing an actual action, you do have dash in your action, so you could run pretty well as far as you need to. Because you're not going to make an actual physical action within the 6 seconds that you're actually doing it. You're not going to have the thought process to actually fight anything. So Gideon, you actually run up behind, and Pino, you now turn, and Pino's sort of turning around and struggling with this arrow that's in his chest. One of two.
Okay,
You're seeing
I have a
black
question to
arrows.
ask. He has 2
Yes.
arrows in it. From where I'm standing, can I see who shot him?
You can't see who shot them. You can only see in rough. You remember, you guys are just having a conversation right before all this broke out about a bush that was around the area of those 2 black horses. There's really only one bush over there, so you can conclude effectively, especially because you're in the heat of battle right now, that arrows are coming from that area, but you cannot see who's doing them yet.
Okay, bet. Since I can't see them, did I use all my movement?
You've used all your movement, yes, unless you want to dash and not do any action. And then you get your double your movement.
Damn, I don't want to dash. Can I hold my action? I want to aim my crossbow at the bush. And I want to hold my action to see, and I want it to trigger if something comes out of the bush.
Absolutely, yeah. So what you can do is what's called holding your action. And so what I generally do for anybody who's holding their action, what's really nice about Roll20 is you can actually click on your character, and you'll see a little gear button and a little emote button happen directly below you. And then what I usually do is I try and put some type of symbol on you to say that you're holding an action. And you just got to remember that your action is as soon as you see something coming out of that bush, you're going to trigger it. Now, keep in mind, you can do that action right before the actual. Once the event happens, you'll get your action immediately, and then if your action is actually directly after that, you'll actually get that second piece. You just can't hold you can't hold more than one.
Yeah, I know. It's only one thing. I have a bundle with nets in it. I want to take a net from there and stand ready. So if I see something, I want to throw a net on it.
Okay, how far can you throw that net? Because that's a pretty long ways away.
It's between 5 and 15.
So that's a 45 feet. That bush is 45 feet away from you right now.
I'm standing right behind him, and he's standing on the corner of a bush. How is that 45 feet away?
Because this is the actual.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm behind him. I thought it was the bush he was right next to.
No. He got shot from way ahead.
I'm sorry.
So if you want
I'm gonna hold my action with the bow and arrow. I have a bow and arrow.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was the bush right there. That's why I was gonna wait and then throw the net, but nah. I'll wait with my bow and arrow ready.
Let's go.
So
Jeff,
I'm just
let's set it off.
gonna point out there's 2 dead horses up here too.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even see that little wagon there. I see it now.
I should probably make the little wagon as big as your wagon because it really is.
Yeah, because I didn't even know what that. I didn't even see that.
Oh, I'm gonna get fancy here. Give me a second, just because I can. Just because I fucking can. Oh no, I can't. Man, Google's got all kinds of pictures of fucking horses, but no ox. That's annoying. Oh, here you go.
Gotta get the ox on our cart, do you?
If the oxen are dead, I'm gonna take their tails when we leave because that shit tastes mad good.
Don't kill my ox. I didn't want to pull that cart.
I'm not gonna kill our ox, but if they have oxes that are dead, I'm gonna just take the tails because.
No, they have
good
horses.
fucking- Oh, okay. I don't know what horse tail tastes like, so I'm not gonna eat it.
Oxtail.
It's a fucking,
An
it's a
oxtail.
fucking bear, Jared. It's a bear.
It's close enough. I could have given you a panda, so stop complaining. So that concludes Gideon's. He's just gonna sort of wait and ready with a bow. Next one's gonna go. Pino, you've still been the one that's pissing him off, and you've been the one front and center. So,
I have a question to ask. What
Yeah.
time of day is it?
it's around midday.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. This is a ballsy little motherfucker fighting out of this bush.
Seeing as I've been taking, it's my turn, right, Jared?
Well, no, it's not your turn. It's your turn to get hit again, though. So a third arrow comes, hits you in the leg this time, right in the thigh. You've been basically the focal point of all anger for these things. And as this happens, what you do see is now you've gotten hit by 3 of these things. You've now been able to discern it. So you take 3 points of piercing damage because you just got hit in the leg. And I'll let you put that on. But you do now see, you can make out, at least from the bush that that's standing directly in front of you, you can make out 2 bodies that are in there. And you see the pointing of the ears, you see the snarl of the nose, you know these things, you love them, and they are goblins. And so you can see 2 goblins hiding out in this bush right now, just basically taking pot shots at you and your crew. You are the only one that sees these right now, so I want you guys to keep that in mind. Right now, Pino is the only one that actually knows that these things are in there. Now, Pino, you can take part of your action, which I generally give as a bonus action, to scream out to the rest of the group that there's 2 goblins sitting in that bush right now. So it is your turn.
All right, so that real quick. Since I did that cantrip and I got myself 3 rocks, do I still have 2 out of that from the earlier?
I thought you threw all 3. If I was
That's
mistaken,
fine.
sure.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. As a bonus action, I'm gonna point over to that bush and say, "There's 2 fucking goblins in there," and I'm gonna scream it so everybody hears me. I'm gonna use my movement to back up, behind our monk.
Yep.
Because he's big, he's tall, he's gonna fucking hide me. And then I'm gonna cast Firebolt, 120-foot range at the first. At the front guy.
Okay, go ahead.
Each one. That's 21.
That definitely hits. So go ahead and roll for. So one thing I want to point out to you guys, if you're going to keep playing, because I'm not going to move off this campaign now, I do recommend after we finish tonight, put your character sheets in here, because what you can do is you can actually click on an attack and it'll do all the damage rolls and everything for you all at once. You just click on it, it does everything. So go ahead and roll for attack for damage. I believe Firebolt. We did this last night, and I should remember.
1d10.
There you go.
It's a 3.
All right. So that's disappointing. So you shoot that Firebolt out. It goes a long way. It has to get around Rob and just barely miss Gideon. And you basically strike. All of a sudden, you hear this Rob. And you hear a lot of immediately you start to hear chatter. It's like back and forth between the 2 that are in there. You do manage to hit him, and all of a sudden the tree starts to sort of cinder. Now at this point in time, Gideon, you have noticed that this has happened, and your held action can now happen. So you can't move anywhere, but you can't take a bonus action. You can't move, but you can definitely do an action.
The action is the one I held. I'm going to shoot my arrow at the closest goblin.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d20 plus. Well, just go ahead and roll an attack for your short bow.
Give me 1 second. I gotta see what the mod is for. It's a longbow. I gotta see what the mod is though.
Longbow is going to be probably a strength. rather than your dex. It's a two-handed weapon. It's piercing.
Come on.
Yeah. So I just add my dex mod, right?
Yep.
So my dex mod is a 2. So get somebody.
You gotta roll for it. Or who's
Okie
rolling?
dokie.
Who's
I
rolling?
can roll myself.
I'm
It's just
roll.
that y'all want to have the rolls on the chat, right? So.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, I don't care one way or the other. If you have got
All right, bet. So I have dice.
if you got a set of dice in front of you, as long as we hear it, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, hell yeah. It just seems faster.
No, roll for him so the people on Twitch can see it.
Ah, touche.
All right. So my modifier is +2.
Okay.
You don't want me rolling for you no more.
Yeah.
Oof.
Jared.
Well, yeah. We designated Pino as the roller, and that was a 6. So you send
I
that.
missed.
You send that arrow off. You see it sail over top of one of the the goblins. You see him sort of duck and then go back. So
Yeah, man. Those misses hit different when you don't do it yourself.
So yeah, it hurts a little bit for sure. So that is your turn. Pino has completed his turn. Dab, it's finally up to you, my friend. You are sitting on the. You're now still sitting on the cart.
Thanking,
you've now seen
being
everything that's
thankful I'm
transpired.
3 foot tall.
I did a fucking backflip over you.
Yeah, you saw. So this is what Dab has had in front of him up until now. Dab has had all of a sudden he's turned around and seen Pino turn around with now 3 arrows stuck in his body, and seen Pino run past him with 3 arrows stuck in his body. He saw Richter take a very poor backflip off of an ox and then hit a second one and fall on the ground. And actually, he's heard 2 arrows hit the wagon right behind him. So he's seen a lot going on. He sees where the direction is, and he definitely knows there's 2 goblins there, and he can start to see some body form. So Dab, go ahead.
So first thing I'm doing, I'm gonna go jump underneath the wagon to take cover.
Okay, so you jump underneath the wagon. So what you're going to do is we're going to consider you behind cover, which means that it's a disadvantage to try and hit you.
Oh, I can't be behind it or underneath because I'm 3 feet tall and still have a clear shot at that guy.
Oh, you absolutely can. I'm saying anything that tries to hit you will have disadvantage on.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna. And then I'm gonna roll, or I'm gonna cast Firebolt as well.
So I'm going to assume you jump down off of the actual cart, you cast Firebolt, and then you duck underneath the ox.
Sure.
And then the case. Okay, so go ahead and roll your d20 plus your spellcasting modifier.
And that one's my Wisdom plus Intelligence. 6.
For you, yeah, it should be +5, I believe.
6.
+6, okay. Yeah, yours will be +6. Yep. Your spell attack bonus. You definitely hit.
So then 1d10.
That's 1d10 for damage. Well, we're going for a ride with Richter here.
Yeah. Taking you guys there.
Okay, nice 3 damage. So you fire off a firebolt. You hear the same guttural. You see again another singe hole in the actual bush. You've managed to hit it. It's in a. You can't really tell what kind of shape it's in right now. You just know that it's been screaming for quite a while. You're gonna duck back underneath the actual cart, and that will conclude your turn. The goblin's being relatively dumb. He's going to actually make his way out here. He's extremely frustrated with the fact that he just got hit by a very tiny animal that he has no idea what it is. And he is going to take a straight 30 feet shot just to get as close as he can to you. And he is going to take a pop shot at you with his bow, but it's going to be with disadvantage. And that is a 7, which does not hit you. So you see him basically, like, this goblin just essentially runs out with such anger. He's got 2 black marks that are singed sitting in his chest right now, and he just fires off a short bow. He's looking directly at you underneath that area, but he shoots off the arrow and it just basically tings off of the ground and gets caught in the underside. You definitely feel his intent towards you, but you are unharmed. Rob is up.
Yo,
Let's go.
you guys can hear me, right? Just making sure.
Yep.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, mic check. So I'm gonna run up to this little fucker, and
Yeah, you can.
why can't I move? Oh, hold on. I just gotta go to that. Here we go. And I'm going to punch him right between the eyes.
In his beady little goblin face. Okay, so it's an unarmed strike for a monk. Actually, I think that's
Yeah,
actually an attack for a monk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my attack. I get a D4 damage for it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d20.
Yeah. I just gotta go to chat here. 1 sec.
So add a d20 plus 5.
It's a plus. So that would be a 12 then.
Okay, so that's a
Okay.
12. So you actually go to swing at him, and you end up like you're just so furious at the point. You know this goblin has hurt a couple of your friends. He shot at one of them. You're so infuriated. You swing for the fences to actually go and hit him, but you manage to not land the right hook that you're trying on, and you end up swinging past. So you miss him.
All right, I'm gonna use a bonus action to spend 1 key point then, and get 2 more unarmed strikes. So
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
kick
So
him- I'm gonna kick him right square in the junk.
okay, so make a dexterity roll, real quick.
How come?
So you're aiming for his nuts, and basically, if you don't get it,
Yep.
there's no difference. But if you do get it, I'm gonna add a little bit more damage.
Yo.
Okay.
Homebrew flavor.
Yeah, that wasn't
Yeah,
so good.
that's generally how we do it. So okay, so you're gonna swing for the fences. Go ahead and roll your d20 plus 5 for the attack.
Oof. 21.
All right, so go ahead and roll your first unarmed strike, which is your d4.
Plus 3.
Yeah.
5.
Okay, so you rear back without even having to do your second unarmed strike. You rear back and you swing your foot as hard as you possibly can. You actually hit the goblin directly in between the legs, and you actually hear a small crush. And it almost feels like a beanbag had burst underneath the weight of your foot. You see the goblin drop to the ground in agony, and actually is just writhing on the ground. You see the pant leg of this goblin. It's rather torn and tattered because it's wearing obviously stolen clothes. They start to turn this amber hue, and a pool starts to flow right underneath his leg.
Is he still awake? Conscious?
He's unconscious due to the loss of blood that he just received.
Yo, you blew his nuts up.
Alright. Then I got 15 more feet of movement.
That's correct.
I'm going to take the rest of it and charge up towards that guy and hopefully be some like shield Pinot and shit.
Okay, go ahead and make your movement.
And that'll end my turn.
Okay, so Rob's just going to go in human tank, which is great. Richter, you're up after taking your half gainer and also being shot with arrows. What are you going to do?
Let me ask you a question. Can I charm these ox and tell them to stampede the other goblin right there?
You can absolutely charm the ox and tell them to stampede the goblin.
That's
What
exactly
is
what I
up
want to
with
do.
you and using these animals as your fucking suicide bombers, bro?
What the hell's the
Fucking
point
woodpeckers
of charming
last
animals
night.
if I don't use them? What's the
Okay.
point of having soldiers?
We
if
need
you
him to
can't
carry
use
a
them?
cart.
So you gonna get the oxen killed, and then we gonna walk the wagon back to town? What the fuck?
No, we got a fur blog.
We got
Yo,
what?
you just said that we're gonna use the furbolg to carry the wagon back to town. This man has no,
He's
this
big.
man has no respect, bro. He don't got
So
no
do you
respect.
want to charm one of the oxen or both of them, Richter?
Both of them.
You want to charm both of them? Okay.
Yeah. And I want them to stampede this guy right here. So,
So what are you casting?
I'm casting. Let me check real quick. I have to move this. I'm casting. Let me see if it's speak with animals or if it's animal friendship.
So keep in mind, both of those are charms that allow you to talk or speak with them, but it doesn't necessarily allow you to tell them specifically what to do. They have to agree still.
Okay, can I roll to get them to agree?
You absolutely can. So you want to cast speak with animals so that you can talk to them first?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and cast. So you cast speak with animals. You basically you bring your hands together. You put your hands to your temples, and you open your eyes back up. All of a sudden, you hear the two of them, the two oxen, sort of conversing back and forth, like they're gonna die. They always do. Every one of them that takes us out on this road, they all die, and we have to drag their dead asses back to town.
I knew we should have talked to them before. They would have warned us.
So you hear this conversation going on. They don't yet know that you can talk to them because you remember this is sort of you cast this on your spell yourself.
Can I choose what to say to them?
Yeah, you can absolutely choose what to say.
They might kill us, but they eat ox.
So all of a sudden you see the two of them perk up, and the one looks at the other and says, "Did you say something?" And the other one turns back and says, "I didn't say anything. What did you do? You must have said that." And both the ox at the exact same time turn and look at you and go, "You?"
Yeah, I think you should run them over. There's only one left.
Why in the world would we do that? I mean, either we die or we drag your dead bodies back into the town. I'd rather not die. That was the first one closest to you. The one beside him says, "Oh, come on, Jack. We at least should help him out. I've always wanted to have an adventure." I want you to roll a charisma roll.
Before I roll the charisma roll, I think because I do have +5 charisma. After this quest, when we get back to town, I'm gonna let the ox free.
Okay, you didn't have to tell me that right now, but okay.
All right, cool. My charisma.
Oh, I think he wanted to say that to them.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to say that to them. Okay, so he turns to you, and Jack sort of hits, the other one hits Jack with his head and says, "See, they can be good sometimes."
All right, so I rolled a d20 +3 for charisma.
Actually, do it with your animal handling, which is +4.
Okay, nice. So d20 +4. Oh, it's still on d8 for my attack. Got an 11.
Okay, so the one turns to Jack, and Jack goes, "I'm still not doing it. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not gonna die." And the other one turns around and goes, "You know what? Screw this. All right, tiny little man. If you take these chains off me, I'll run wherever you need me to."
All right, run right through that fucking goblin.
Okay, so you manage to unhinge his shackles, and he just takes an absolute beeline and heads towards that bush that you've pointed at. He doesn't necessarily know what he's running at, but he just knows he's running. Right now, keep in mind, ox are not very nimble, so I need Rob. I need you to make a dexterity check. All right, so Rob, can you
Mike's
hear me?
muted.
Oh, he was so close too. Yeah, you're muted. You're muted, Rob.
You can always make the check for him real quick.
Okay, I'll make the check for him real quick. Does anybody know what his dexterity is?
No, I don't. What's his class?
Oh, you did not want me to roll for Rob.
That's what you get for not. Oh, he just made it back.
Rob, go ahead and roll.
All right, I'm gonna run up to this guy too.
No, it's not your turn.
Oh,
You're trying to avoid a stampeding oxen that's been sent your way by Richter.
what the fuck, Richter?
I'm gonna be nice and not make you take my roll because I rolled a nat 1.
Okay, so I'm adding my dex to this, right?
Yeah, so roll a dexterity check. So while he's doing that,
Wait,
the
it's a
oxen
dex
just
save?
go. Sorry,
It's a dex save, right? I think
correct. It's a dex save.
Okay, I
So
think
this oxen starts barreling towards Rob because he's going towards the bush. You see as he walks in, he actually stampedes directly over the goblin. You see a hoof fall through the head of this lifeless goblin that's sitting on the floor, and you now see a trail of basically bone matter and blood flying off the hooves of this oxen as it charges forward. It doesn't necessarily know what it's supposed to kill. It just knows it's supposed to run in that direction and kill anything in it.
Holy fuck. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so
18.
Rob, you managed to, as this oxen comes directly towards you,
go,
you manage
Rob.
to actually dive out of the way. You end up about 5 feet, about 10 feet off to the side just from trying to get out of the way.
Wait. Can I grab a hold and fucking climb on that bitch as he charges at this other fucker?
That will require a very high acrobatics roll, but by all means, go ahead and give it a try.
Do it.
I'm gonna try. I've got a +5 on it, so I'm gonna try.
All right, let's see what it is. So you're shooting for anything over an 18.
I grab it by the horns. 24.
You manage, as this beast comes barreling towards you, it has absolute intent to kill you. You manage to grab onto one of the horns that's actually got, and you swing yourself over, your leg falling directly onto it. You actually land flat and square on its back. It looks back at you. You look back at it. There's almost a natural connection that you two have made, and it just turns its head back forward and keeps barreling on. It keeps moving and moving and moving, and it's actually going to go and right directly into the bush. You're actually going to get cut up, but it's not really going to hurt you that much because the adrenaline is so high from jumping on this wild oxen. You end up into the bush, and you feel a smack. Let's see if the goblin is actually able to jump out of the way.
So, one of my features that Furbolg has is plants and beasts can understand me, and I have advantage on charisma checks while talking.
Well, hell. Okay, then. Perfect.
So, yeah, I'll just aim him right for that little bitch.
Okay, so he's going to take a dex save. He is going to fail that dex save, so he's going to take an impact right on it. This is going to be a tough one on exactly how it's going to attack it. Let me see if I can find a beast in my bestiary that actually is equivalent.
You looking for an ox?
Yeah.
Do you know what's challenge rating? Because I got cow right here.
Yeah, I'm searching monsters in here right now.
Nope, I don't have cow. Behind a paywall.
Behind a paywall.
Hold on.
Okay, so an ox has charge. 2d6 piercing damage.
Nice.
That's nice.
Woo! Okay, so this ox is going to come in, and it's just going to, you feel a solid smack as you make your way through this bush. You see a small body just fly out the other end and just screaming in the air. Just, it actually, it hits the ground in a thud, and you see this blood start to fall from its ears as it lies on the ground lifeless. The ox actually standing directly over top of it with you on its back, just basically kicking its hoof back and forth. That will complete that whole thing, and
Wait,
we'll move on to
before I end my turn, can I tell the other ox that we'll still let him be free after this anyway?
You're pushing it, but absolutely you can turn to him and say that, and he goes, yeah, whatever. At which point you, Richter, so we're gonna see this twice again because you did not decide to move on your turn much.
No.
Okay, so you see, this is not gonna be good. So all of a sudden you feel like you're on a high right now. You're standing beside the ox. You're a bit exposed, but you're on a high. You've just convinced an ox to go and charge a goblin for you, and you just watched your friend Rob mount it and ride with it into the sunset. You feel a sting in the back two parts of your legs. and all of a sudden you drop to your knees, unable to get up for some reason. You are considered now prone, and you take 6 points of damage. You've just been shot in your right in the back of your legs by 2 arrows.
Damn, I'm at 5 health.
So I'll take off that 6 for you. So you are in rough shape. You're actually prone. You've fallen down. At which point the ox turns around and goes, "See, they always die." That will conclude their turn. Gideon, your turn.
Okay. So both of the goblins are pulp, or one of them is still alive?
No, two. So the 2 goblins that you guys know of, that you know what ammo was coming from, are both absolutely obliterated. One, run standing right in front of you, actually currently has its head crushed in by a hoof, and blood still running out from between its legs after being kicked in the nuts to death. Yeah. He's a tunic at this point. And then the other one, you see an ox just sort of bearing down while Rob rides it like a majestic Viking.
So there are no more visible goblins?
As of right now, no. You don't know. As of right now, you don't know if there's any goblins left. You would hear Rob screaming in pain, or sorry, Richter screaming in pain right now, writhing on the ground, right next to the other ox.
Okay. I'm gonna approach Richter. I want to move as close to him as I can.
Okay, so you come around the other side of the ox to Richter, just to sort of see what's wrong and see what's going on. Richter turns to you and says,
Help me, I've been shot by multiple arrows. I'm really fucked up out here.
I noticed. Where'd the arrows come from?
Yo, the bushes.
and so he points to a bush in this area right here.
I'm looking at the map. I don't see anything.
You should see a little circle that's... Yeah.
The first one on the right.
Yep. And so you spin around, Gideon. I want you to make a perception check.
Okay.
And wake up.
I'm awake. I just want to know. I got to look at my modifier again. Sorry, the numbers are really small. My perception is +2.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I can't. Y'all got to do it for me.
Okay, so Pino rolled for you and rather poorly. So you look towards that bush.
Yo, Pino, what the fuck, bro?
This Roll20 fucking hates me.
So,
man, Pino can't fucking roll for me no more, bro.
So you look towards that bush and you look inside. You look at that bush. You can't tell if there's nothing there or something there. You are not entirely sure. Right now, you still have only the information to go off of. However, you do notice the absolute. You're not sure that something is there either. So you are skeptical at this point on whether or not he has pinpointed the right area in which these bolts are coming from.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I could do to roust them.
No
I want to use my action to light a torch.
Okay, all right. I'd say that's a bonus action. I mean, all you're doing is lighting a torch.
I bet. So I'm going to use my action to throw the torch into the bush to be indicated.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, or dexterity check. Sorry.
Somebody else want to roll for him?
It's +2.
That's +2. All right, I'm gonna. Dab, why don't you roll for him if you can?
What am I rolling?
You're rolling a d20 +2. Nostra, can you hear us properly? Last time you used your video, it went all shit saved. Hey, I can hear you now. Good.
You guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Man, you shouldn't have had me do it.
I should have had nobody do it, bro. What the
You
fuck?
guys can hear me.
So
Good.
you actually throw this. Wow, that's low. You throw this torch and you end up actually uppercutting Richter as you do.
Oh, man.
He gets hit in the chin by this flaming piece of torch that's in front of you. No damage necessarily, but at this point in time, now Richter's been shot in the back of the leg, laughed at by an ox, and now been uppercutted by a torch.
And I fell when I backflipped.
you throw this at the trees, and you give it your all, Gideon. You know, from the days of you being in prison, you're angered, and you throw it as hard as you can, and it falls about 10 feet short of the actual bush in front of you. That is, keep in mind, only about 20 feet in front of you.
Hey, man. I think that's my cue. I'm tired, bro. Because apparently I can't throw, shoot, any fucking thing. Tonight is not my night. But I told myself I was going to stop at 10 anyway, because I am yawning like fuck. But,
well, this engagement's
I'm
almost done.
All right, but so I'll wait to the end of the
End of this encounter. So you have a flaming a torch that's sitting about 10 feet in front, and I'll see if I can actually be fancy here and find y'all a torch.
I'm done. I don't got anything else to do.
All right, so there's a torch currently sitting right about here. Right about there, about 10 feet in front of that bush, just burning on the ground. The next one, that one is hella dead. Pino, you are up.
Come up behind Richter. I'm gonna cast. Where the fuck is it? I'm gonna cast Healing Word on him.
Okay.
It's just a 1d4.
Okay, so roll that modifier just to see how much you're gonna heal him. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so you sort of put your hands on Richter and try to bandage up a couple of his things. You pull out some of the arrows, and Richter screams in pain. But luckily now he's regained his ability to walk. He's actually able to stand up now. He's limping pretty good, but he's actually gone up. So Richter, I'm going to add those 7 health to you. So you're at 12 now. That's your action, Pino. Do you want to move anywhere else or anything else?
So that's actually my bonus action.
Oh, okay, so you're going to use Healing Word as bonus action. Got it.
Yeah. And then, actually, no, I don't think I'm. No, I'm going to stay there. That's it. Fuck it. And I stay back. I don't know where these things are coming from.
Oh, yeah, this is bonus action. How do you like that? That's fancy. Okay, so you're just going to stay where you are. No action whatsoever?
Well, I'm going to see if I can maybe perceive if that's the only threat. What if there's only one in the bush?
So
sure.
after talking with Richter while you're bandaging him up, he lets you know that he's pretty sure that the attacks are coming from here. Go ahead and make a perception check. Keep in mind, you thought a bald eagle ran into the other place. So,
hey,
23.
Okay, so you look in there. You know that there's, for a fact, there is nothing moving around in that bush. And so by deduction, you can probably deduce that something is moving around in that area, coming from that area, but there's nothing in that bush.
All right. For the end of my action for that perception, can I just tell everybody around me? Obviously,
yeah,
I won't be able to reach. Yeah, I won't be able to reach Rob. That's like 100 feet away, but yeah, just gonna holler out.
Rob's
not in the bush, but there's something over there.
Yeah, Rob's currently like swimming on cloud 9 after having mounted this ox and semi-befriended it. It's still on a pretty good mission right now, but he's still riding it away. So yeah, you scream out that they're in a different bush. They're in this area. Do you want to specify which area, which bush, or?
I'm gonna say just not this bush, not that bush. Same direction though.
Okay. All right, so you scream that out. Dab, you are up. After hearing this, you're still hiding and cowering underneath the cart.
Okay, how do I see my movement?
So if you click just below the magnifying glass, you should be able to click that, and then click and drag your mouse anywhere on the map, and it will give you a little arrow. Nope. So you're moving your guy. So if you click on, on the left toolbar, you should see a little magnifying glass, right? Yeah. So just below that, you should see a thing, and it should say snap to center. Yeah, there you go. Now you got it.
I'm gonna just chill out where I'm at because I ain't got much health. I'm not made to take damage. Can I do a perception check?
I mean, you've got 14. Technically, you've got more health than virtually anybody on this playfield right now. But yeah, you can do a perception check by all means.
And that's D20.
D20 plus your perception. Whenever you're ready. Are you typing it in? I also don't mind, guys, if you want to use the quick menu on the side and just roll a D20 rather than typing plus, just type it in and then we can do the math our own. 15, you're looking in that area right now. Again, you're certain that it has come from this bush. You know, you are very, very certain that it has come from this bush right here that I'm pointing out.
Do I have to have a target to cast Firebolt, or can I just cast it at that bush?
You can cast Firebolt at that bush by all means. It's just going to lower the chance of you actually hitting them. That's all.
Okay, I'm going to cast Firebolt to that.
So go ahead and roll for attack. And you're just going to be at disadvantage. That's all. So roll twice. So roll 2 D20s and add your spell bonus, which is 6. So 2 D20s plus 6. Wow. That's not quite what I meant.
Natural one. It works.
Well, no.
19
plus 6 or 1 plus 6. And so you're taking the nat 1. So you cast your firebolt in that direction. You basically just hit the actual branches. You see some singeing in the branches, but nothing much else than that on your turn specifically.
What did you mean for me to do?
I wanted you to do 2 rolls, 1 D20 plus 6 and another D20 plus 6.
I didn't go through mine that fast.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So I rolled them both.
Regardless, it's still 2 randomized numbers plus 6, so it really doesn't make a difference. So that goblin has currently had its nuts stomped off. Rob, it's your turn. You are currently cowboying an ox.
So, do I know that they're down in that bush down there, or what?
You did not hear much. Like I said, you're still riding the high of absolutely trampling a goblin, and currently you think that everything is fine because you had no idea about the goblins on the other end.
All right, well, I mean, I know we're in a combat situation. I'll take a look around and see if I can see anything else.
You still see a lot of commotion going on around the wagon. You also see a torch burning on the ground for some unknown reason.
What's going on back there?
So at which point your animal companion turns to you and goes, "How the hell would I know?"
No, I'm yelling back to the group back by the wagon.
Okay, so you let out a holler. Do you want to you want to bring your beast back around while riding him? I mean, you can make a charisma check just to make sure you can.
He's not the one that can. He's not the one that can talk to animals. Richter.
He has a pass ability.
Oh, can you?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get advantage on any charisma checks too. I think I only have a +1 to my charisma though.
Yeah. So if you want to make a charisma check to try and make this guy your buddy, by all means, or you can get off him and run back over, or you can stay where you are.
I can probably move faster than it can, so I'll run back because I got 40 feet of movement.
Okay, so you jump off the ox and leave it to basically maim this goblin that's there. And it is having absolute enjoyment at going after this small little creature. It's just completely destroying the thing that slides in front of it. You jump off and you make a run for it back. So go ahead and move the 40 feet back. Now, at this point in time, you can move. You can either do a dash. Your action was really, you've done a bonus action to yell. You've moved. Technically, you could do an action here. But you can't talk anymore, so you're coming in here with no contact.
Yeah, I'll just take I'll move up to the rest of the group, see what's going on.
Okay, so you make your way over to the rest of the group. You sort of slide in beside the ox right in front of Gideon, sort of have a quick conversation with everybody that's sitting there. Richter, you're up. You've now seen Rob come sliding back in. Keep in mind, the last thing you saw was Rob mounting one of your awesome oxes.
I'm gonna ask this. Nah, I was thinking about asking him, telling him there's one more bush, but I kind of want to check out the wagon, but this guy's shooting arrows. I'm gonna shoot an arrow back.
Yeah, shoot an arrow back in this general vicinity.
At that bush, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a. You have a longbow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
No,
go
I have
make
a crossbow.
You have a crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and make an attack roll with disadvantage. So just to make 2.
So roll a d20 minus 2.
Is it light crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would be using. It is a ranged weapon. It's a 2-handed weapon, so you're going to be using your strength. So do your strength modifier plus d20 and do that twice, and we'll take the lower of the 2.
Okay.
Unless you're proficient in a light crossbow.
I got a 15 and a 2. And what did I have to add to them?
You add your strength modifier.
I don't think I have a strength modifier.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think crossbows dex because the elf and shit.
Oh yeah.
Do you get light crossbows as an automatic proficiency? Can you finesse? Because light crossbow is not a finesse weapon. It can't be used as either or. It's a 2-handed weapon.
Wouldn't that be a heavy crossbow?
Aren't crossbows dex weapons?
I thought they were, considering they were 2-handed, but I could be wrong.
I think they're dex just because they're ranged.
I thought all bows were dex.
No, heavy crossbows for sure are strength because you're trying to hold that damn thing up.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, fuck it, I'm not going to argue over it. So go ahead and roll with your dex. You're just still rolling at disadvantage, that's all. So you rolled a 15 and a 2. What's your dex?
So I got a 17 and a 3. I got
17 and 3.
dex
So
check.
you're 3. So you fire a bolt directly in that area. You see a little bit of shaking in that tree, in that bush, but it basically your bolt goes right through it.
Okay.
Okay, are you moving anywhere, Richter? You can walk now.
I'm going to. I'm gonna get under the thing with
So you're gonna crawl
Yeah.
underneath with Dab?
yeah.
Okay. You actually have crossbow proficiency, by the way. So when you roll, use your dex modifier and then add 2.
Oh, so it's 4. So I got a 19 and a 6.
That doesn't make any difference. So, but anyways, yeah. So from now on, because you have proficiency in your crossbow,
Just for future reference, why doesn't it make a difference? Like, what did I have to get for it to hit?
you had to. For one, you were doing it with disadvantage, and you had to hit at least the armor count or the AC of these animals, which is
Oh,
It has-
okay.
you're
So the
effectively
AC
trying
of
to
this
kill
animal
something.
Is what?
What's that?
What's the armor class of this?
You don't know.
Oh, we don't know. Okay.
That's the point. So you're gonna jump up underneath underneath there with Dab Hatter. This one has seen a lot coming his way, but the last thing that actually came his way was you. He can't really hit you because now you're considered under, but these guys are really, really dumb. So what's gonna happen is both of these two are going to come out. So the first one is going to make his way out. Oh, did my music stop? Why did my music stop? My music stopped? Okay. So both these two are actually going to make their way out into the open, and this one is going to charge as fast as and far as he can, which will be 30 feet, which will only get him to about there. He's going to run up as far as he possibly can and fire an arrow at the closest thing to him, which I think was right there. He's going to fire it at Rob, who's basically sitting directly in his line of sight. He's going to fire off a longbow attack. Or a short bow attack, sorry. And that is a 21 to hit. I'm assuming that hits you, Rob.
What was it?
21.
Yeah, that hits.
So he runs up. Basically, you see all of a sudden you see the small animalistic creature just come barreling out. You guys recognize this as a goblin. It comes barreling out. It stops dead, pulls its bow back, fires a bolt, and actually lands Rob right in the shoulder. Does 5 piercing damage to Rob. He actually takes a hit and actually currently has a black feathered arrow sitting right out of his shoulder. The second one is going to make his way out in the same fashion, running up as fast as he possibly can into the area. He's going to take a pot shot at Gideon, who's the first person he sees, and he is going to shoot with his bow, in which case he will hit 11 to hit, which probably doesn't hit Gideon. He's pretty well protected. So you see a bolt come fly past you, Gideon, and it just basically hits into the side of the wagon and sort of and that will conclude their turn. It is your turn, Gideon.
Okay, I'm looking at the map. Where is the goblin? Which symbol is the goblin?
These two guys right here. So if you look in the lower left,
Okay.
or lower right, sorry, lower center.
Okay, I got you. It just shifted. I am going to approach. I say okay. I'm gonna use 15 of my movement to move straight down.
Okay.
3 spaces. Then I'm going to use an action to throw a net.
Okay, you're gonna throw a net. So
Yeah.
I haven't played the pirate very often.
I got you. I'll tell you. I got it. I already brought it up.
Variant, sailor, prof.
The net doesn't do any damage.
No,
but
it just catches people.
it-
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
It's a range weapon. Weapon can be used to make a range attack. Okay, so just make a range attack, which would be your a smaller creature hit by a net is restrained until freed, and that has no effect on creatures that are formless or creatures that are huge or larger. Creature has to make a DC 10 strength check. Okay.
Yeah, it's on you. You got to make a strength check, right?
Yeah. Well, if once you catch me, yeah. So it's a range attack that has the range.
So it's plus my dex mod.
Yes, correct.
Am I proficient?
You are. Are you proficient? Let me check. I don't know if.
I'm proficient with martial weapons, and a net is a martial weapon.
Then you are proficient, sir.
Yeah. So I add +4 to this roll, right?
Add +2. Well, yeah, +2 for your dex, which is +2, and then +2 for your proficiency. Yes.
So that's
And so +4.
that's a D20 plus.
Correct. D20
Yeah.
+4. So basically, you're just seeing to wait. You're just finding out if you actually hit him with this net.
Yeah.
You just so you throw your net. It basically lands. Which one are you going after? I'm assuming this one right in front of you.
Yeah.
So you throw your net up into the air. It basically flies. These rocks start flying through the air. The goblin that's facing it tries to like fight it off with its bow, but ultimately gets trapped underneath. And so currently you actually have a goblin that's fighting this, trying to fight his way through this. He can't do much except for trying to cut out of this actual out of this net that's in front of him. But he is considered restrained at the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna use my action surge.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to move up right next to the restrained goblin,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna use my action surge to attack him. I think
Okay.
while he's restrained, I crit against him.
Restrained.
I think it's advantage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just advantage. Range attack. When attacking the large creature is restrained. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I will look up restrained. Restrained creature's speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's
Oh, okay, I got you.
disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws as well. So you have advantage on the attack, and so I'm assuming you're hitting with your scimitar.
Nah, I'm not. When I hit him with the trident.
Oh, with the trident. Okay. So you pull out this. So you've thrown this net, and you pull out this beautiful trident basically off your back, and you're basically pointing it directly towards this net. You're now going to go stab into the net to try and hit this creature. So you still have to make an attack roll using your strength, I believe.
Nah, yeah, it is strong.
So, but it is a martial weapon, so I believe you still have proficiency on it at the very least.
Yeah.
So it's plus your strength plus 2.
I think it's +6, but let me check.
So that's a 1d10.
So your strength is +3, +2, so it's +5.
It's +5. Yeah, it's +5. My fault.
So what do we?
1d20 +5.
You roll 2d20, so I have advantage.
Yeah, so roll
I just
1d20
picked-
+5 and then do it again. Okay, so the first one's 21, so you're going to hit regardless.
Let's try for the crit.
Yeah, let's try for the crit. So roll another one +5. Oh, very close. So you poke in and you actually manage to stab this creature right and directly in the side of the leg. You hear it like sort of scream out in pain as it gets this trident directly through its leg. Go ahead and roll for damage, and I'm just trying to find out what exactly.
I think it's 1d10.
That is correct. 1d10. Wait, are you holding it as a two-handed weapon? You used your strength, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it's a 1d8.
Oh, okay. So is it versatile?
Yeah, so it's a versatile weapon. You can either hold it one way or you can hold it with a ranged attack, which does 1d6, or you can use it as a versatile attack, which is two-handed, which makes it 1d8.
Oh yeah, 1d8. That's what I wanted.
I figured. So 1d8, Jeff, not 1d10. Like I said, guys, too, if you look, the second from the question mark on your left bar there is actually a little rolling unit that you can actually very easily quick roll. So right above the question mark, you can actually just click it. It's very, very quick. So you do 2 damage. So you manage to puncture it in, and it punctures in, but you puncture a smaller part of its leg. It screams out in agony, but it doesn't necessarily die just yet. It is restrained in this net and having a very hard time getting out, but it is otherwise restrained. That is going to end your turn, Gideon, as you run right up and attack it. That goblin is currently having its head bashed in by an ox. Pino, you are up.
I'm gonna stay where I am. I'm gonna use my bonus action to pick up 3 stones and cast magic stone on him again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw. I'm gonna throw it at the goblin that's been hit, the one right in front of Gideon. There.
Okay, so the one that's in the net right now. So go ahead and throw with advantage.
Or shit. Yeah, no, he's restrained. Perfect. All right. Yeah.
So go ahead and make an advantage on what is the stones? I can never remember.
So with the stones, it gives me it's a 60-foot range and lets me use my spell attack.
Yeah, so use your spell attack bonus for an attack, and it's 1d6 plus your 1d6
Natural
plus your
20.
Woo! So it's do 2d6 plus your spellcasting modifier.
2d6 plus 3.
Wait a minute. It's double. So you can either do 2d6 plus 3, like you can do 2d6 plus 3 and then 2d6 plus 3, or you can do double whatever you roll.
I think you only add the +3 one time.
That's what I
think you only,
thought.
I think it's 2d6 plus 3.
Yeah,
you only double
add
the
+3
dice.
one time.
Yeah, you only double the dice.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So roll. You can either do 2d6 plus 3, or you can. Yeah. Okay. So 13 damage. So you throw these stones off, and basically, as Gideon is standing over top of his body, he's got his trident in the leg of it, and he's pulled it back out. He sees 3 stones a stone just basically fly through the temple of this goblin. It's happened so fast the goblin doesn't even realize it. It just makes a small squeak. And it sees it fall to the ground, and blood just start to fall from this wound, this massive wound that's actually in its head. It's gone through directly in its temple. It is down for the count. It is completely dead. You obliterated.
Hey, gnome, stop stealing my kills.
I wasn't the gnome. That was the high elf.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Blame the gnome. Blame the gnome.
Yeah. Pino, do you have any other movement? Do you want to go anywhere else?
No, I'm
all
going
right.
to
So that's going to end Pino. Dad, what are you doing cowering underneath that bench there?
I'm gonna hop back up on top of the bench.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast magic missiles at the one goblin remaining.
Okay, magic missile. Okay, so go ahead and roll a. I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna get better at this as we do this more. 1d4 plus 1. And that'll be each one of them. So each dart hits the creature. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1. So do 1d4 plus 1. We'll times it by 3. So there's 3. So you basically conjure up. You bring your staff up and you put it to the ground, and then you point it, or you put it onto the cart, and then you point it forward. three glowing green missiles just shoot directly out of the end of it. You see him hit the goblin first in the chest. The second one, basically, it almost hits it in shoulder to shoulder as if it was getting shot. The third one actually hits it directly between the eyes, and it actually pierces directly through. You see a very small, very fine hole that pierces directly in between the eyes of this goblin. It is now out for the count, and you have managed to defeat it.
Wow, you a shooter with them damn rocks.
Fucking, that was missile.
I got him with the rocks on the first one. He got him with the missiles on the second one.
Oh shit.
Okay, so now you guys are basically set forth with this. Again, you still have a burning torch on the ground. You still have an ox in the corner absolutely maiming a goblin. You have 4 goblins that have been killed in rather ghastly ways, all of them basically obliterated, none of them coming back to life. You still have the 2 dead horses and the carriage in front of you, and you are currently on this trail alone.
And both our ox still alive.
Both your ox are still alive, yes.
So we're out of combat now?
You are out of combat.
I
All right,
definitely
guys,
want
so,
to...
wagon. I'm gonna leave you guys to wrap up the wagon and the dead horses. I gotta go to bed.
Okay.
All right, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the game, guys. This is great.
Yeah,
Peace
man.
out.
Later.
All right, fellas.
Then Gideon just walks off.
Okay, it just basically walks back to the cart and goes and sits inside. You guys, I need everybody to make a survival check very quickly.
Sure, but I'm checking these carts.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna check those two.
Okay, so you go over to the cart that is there. The saddlebags have been completely emptied out, and the cart has been completely rummaged.
So you said something about the question mark. Where is that question mark you're talking about?
On the
before, yeah,
Top left side.
top
It's
left
in that
side.
little toolbar with the snap to center. It's right below snap to center.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for you guys it would be right below snap to center. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
And if you
I
click
see.
on it, it brings up a dice roller. I got 18 on my what you asked us, the survival.
Survival check. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Dab, Richter, and Rob, if you can all make survival checks.
Yeah, I just gotta find my modifier here. It's probably not that high. Survival. Actually, it's a +3.
That's a D.
Yep. D20 plus your survival skill. So for you, that would be a...
Checks and saves are always a 20. 20 is pretty much
+2.
what we'll be rolling.
Yeah,
It'll be
mine's a
+2.
7. I rolled it a couple bit.
I got
Okay, so Dab rolls a 7, a 13, and an 18. Okay, so the all of you, except for Dab, you look around. You know goblins. You've fought them before in a lot of your other exploits. You'll know that they love to actually stage ambushes. And when you look at the cart, you look actually just north of the cart in this area right here, and you actually notice a small trail that's sitting right behind the bushes and the thickets, and it actually leads up to the northwest. And so you notice that you see that there's tracks of a dozen goblins or so that have come and gone along that trail. But you also see signs of 2 human-sized bodies being hauled away from the ambush site. So you see like drag marks in the gravel and so on. I want to bring you guys back to the reason why you came out here. You were transporting some goods for Gundren Rockseeker, who has a brother as well. But Gundren has actually asked you to take his wagon load of provisions to Phandelver, and Gundren was excited and actually set out ahead of you guys and said he was going to meet you there. He was also looking for a warrior named Sildar Hallwinter.
Does this look like his wagon?
You don't know what Gundren's wagon looks like, but I just want to point out that you do see 2. I'll count that 2 human bodies. So Sildar, you're supposed to meet in Phandelver, but Gundren, you knew that took off early, and you now see 2 sets of body tracks that are being dragged towards that northwest trail. Okay, so that will conclude us for tonight. You guys did a great job in battling off these goblins in this trail. You've now seen this beautiful trail off to the northwest. When we come back next week or next time, you'll be making your way through that trail and finding out where it leads.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, much appreciated, Jared.